Hey everybody, I'm Bill, Cranky Cook 2022. Thanks for coming back for part 2 of our Ragù Bolognese. Now, one thing I did forget to mention in the first installment of this is that you are going to need, amongst your ingredients, a can of tomato paste. But if you will recall, we had, from the first episode, carrots, celery, onions, and garlic all chopped up and ready to go. So we're going to get those in the pot and we're going to cook them for about 5 to 10 minutes over medium heat. We don't want to brown them, we just want them to be nice and translucent. So all the vegetables. Okay, that's been about 15 minutes. Our vegetables are nice and translucent. What we're going to do now is take the meat, going to put it in, mix it in well with the vegetables, turn the heat on the stove up to high, and we're going to brown the meat for about 25 minutes. Okay, our meat's been browning for about 25 minutes. With the vegetables. What we're going to do now, and that's been on high that whole time, what we're going to do now is reduce the stove to medium, and we're going to let it cook, and we're going to stir it frequently for another 30 minutes. Okay, so the meat has been cooking for an additional 30 minutes. It's getting pretty nicely browned. The vegetables are all in there. What we're going to do next is we're going to add a can of tomato paste. I want to show you a little trick for how to get the most out of a can of tomato paste. If you take the top off one of these and you dig it out with a spoon, you invariably wind up leaving a lot of tomato paste in the corners. So what I like to do is you take both the top and the bottom, and you open them with a can opener, and then what you do is you push. It's tough to do with two hands. You push the bottom through, and you get virtually 100% of the tomato paste out of the bottle, out of the can. Don't forget to take the bottom off that's floating around in there, but you have very little waste on your tomato paste. We're going to get the tomato paste in there, and we're going to cook this for 30 minutes until it comes to a nice deep red color. Okay, tomato paste is pretty well worked in, and now we're just going to stand and we're going to stir that for the next 30 minutes. We have been cooking our tomato paste for about an hour. It's got a nice ruby rich red color to it. And the next step, and I forgot to mention in the first episode, but the next ingredient that we're going to add is whole milk, 2 cups of whole milk. We were working on 2 different pots because we're making a very big batch of this. But everything's going to be consolidated now into one pot, and to that we add 2 cups of whole milk. I've tried half and half with this. I've tried cream, mistakenly thinking that I would make it even more luscious tasting. I've tried skim milk in a pinch. Nothing seems to work. I guess the fat content of whole milk is exactly right for this dish. So we add 2 cups, and we're going to let that cook for an hour. Okay, so our milk is in there, and that is going to cook over a low to medium-low flame for 1 hour. Okay, we have one more step left, and then a lot of cook time, so we're not out of the woods yet, but our last step, there's another ingredient I forgot to tell you about earlier. we need to add 2 cups of dry white wine to this. So you could use Pinot Grigio or Vermentino. I actually like to do it a little differently for the dry white wine and use vermouth, white vermouth. I like a little bit of a bite that vermouth has to it, and I think it adds a really nice dimension to the sauce. So 2 cups dry white wine. We're going to increase the heat to medium-high and bring that to a boil. Now, once that comes up to a boil, we're going to let it cook for only about 5 minutes, just enough to burn off the alcohol. And from there, we're going to lower the heat to medium-low, and we're going to let it cook on the stove top for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I told you this takes a long time. And don't forget, as we're letting that simmer for an hour and a half to 2 hours, we need to keep checking on it because we may have to add a little bit of water to it or a little bit of milk, and just to keep it loose enough. So get it to a nice low simmer and just leave it for 90 minutes to 2 hours, but do check on it. Okay, we are coming to the end of our Ragù Bolognese Odyssey. We've been at this, it seems, for so long I actually have to change my shirt. But it is pretty much made. It looks like today we're going to be serving this over rigatoni. You can really serve this over any kind of pasta. I like doing it with rigatoni because if you stir it well, you get little pieces of the meat inside the tubes, which is really nice. So that's our dish. Add a little parsley. And we're going to add a little touch of Parmesan cheese. And there you have it. It is so good. It's hard to describe. It's just absolutely fantastic. It is a perfect ragu. As I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, I've made this for a lot of people, and literally every one of them has come back and said, could you please make it again? It's that delicious. I got to thank Mario Batali for giving the world this amazing recipe. It's just incredible. And I hope you'll try it out. It's a lot of time to make it, but it takes a lot of time to make, but the results are well worth it. Please, if you like the episode, hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. I'm Bill, the Cranky Cook, and I guess that's it. I'm out of here. Let's eat.